G'day, legends. It's John, that Aussie Metal Guy here with Crannk.com. So today, tonight, this morning, wherever you are in the world, I'm joined with Mr. John Flansburgh of They Might Be Giants with the new album, The World Is to Dig, arriving April 14th, and the band still sounding as curious, playful, and as restless as ever. It's a real pleasure to get the chance to chat about the new record and the brilliant musical world of They Might Be Giants. John, thank you so much for joining me, my friend.
It is absolutely my pleasure. I have to salute you for taking the They Might Be Giants heavy metal challenge.
Oh, dude,
Um,
I love it.
so you this is for Krang?
Crank, it's called Crank.com. We've been going for
Crank.
about 10 years, over 10 years now. So over here.
Excellent, excellent.
And I interview a lot of heavy metal bands, but also love They Might Be Giants. I've interviewed
Oh,
bands like
fantastic.
Arla Anderson from Bob Marley and the Wailers. I've interviewed so many other people. They Might Be Giants is one of those bands that has occupied the space where people like myself can be blasting out some Deicide, then jump into some They Might Be Giants.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I listened to the Eddie Trunk show on Sirius FM, the cable. He's got a show on one of the channels there, and it's just all you know metal stuff, and I'm fascinated by like the metal community. So, um, I'm kind of I like lurking in that space.
Yeah, well, I love that too, and I also seen that. I was going to ask this a little bit later, but with the Wu-Tang track as well, I love the idea, and I was reading about it with the presses and some of the information that I had there, that you guys are also toying with an idea for a heavy metal track, and I love the way that you guys have picked the Wu-Tang track and done it in your style as well. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think rock music is such a wide open world of subcultures now, and sometimes people like to pretend that like nothing else exists, but I find it all kind of fascinating.
Yeah, well, a lot of metalheads as well, like listen to, they won't say it, but listen to rap, like that Wu-Tang track. It was funny when that dropped because I'd actually come up in conversation and I have a bunch of old Wu-Tang albums and I was playing that about a week or two before that come out. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
damn,
yeah.
there was something coincidental about that, man.
Well, Wu Tang are kind of having a moment right now. I guess they're up for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so every Wu Tang is on everybody's mind.
Yeah, well, I love that track because it was a brilliant lead single. It was funny, sincere, but genuinely a sweet track and an ode to that culture as well and that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about making that track. Well, where did it come from as well? Tell me the idea
Oh,
kind of because I
John
really,
John brought it in, and and we all just sort of set to it. I play acoustic guitar on that song. It was just like in a way, it's a kind of power pop song that's not unfamiliar territory for us, and um, John has written a few songs that are sort of about having like ecstatic experiences. I mean, it sort of reminds me of the song that was on our album Apollo 18 called "The Statue Got Me High." That's like it's sort of written from the perspective of somebody who's like kind of being overwhelmed by like their love of something. And I think John just felt like the Wu Tang Clan was like left of center enough as an idea for that person to be a fan of, that it would be kind of like an interesting, kind of like a fresh breeze. Uh, it's not in any way related to heavy metal music. It's just about being a fan.
yeah. And another single, the other single that's out, Outside Brain, that really jumped out at me as well, especially with the way the lyrics and the way it hits against the more muscular track as well. Tell us a little bit
Yeah, that's
about
a pretty.
has that, yeah.
Oh, it's just like it's a pretty manic
Yeah,
track.
yeah. Has that outsider perspective really actually been one of the great strengths of They Might Be Giants as well? Because you really just have this way of songwriting and having this perspective of curiosity as well to songwriting in your
Well,
songs.
I think you don't all bands are different, and like how much scope people want to have in their band, can be like I remember somebody saying like the thing they love the most about AC/DC is that they never tried to like slip a love song into the middle of their sets. Like that they just it was always all like full blown like hard AC/DC. And I think that's completely worthwhile. Like I completely appreciate that. But for us, we've always kind of treated what we're doing as being kind of like an exploration, and um, so we've approached writing songs in a million different ways, and that's kind of what the quest we're on. It took us a long time to even get to writing like any kind of like love song or anything like that because I think we were kind of shy of that idea. I mean, half of it was like, oh, that's just like worn out, old fashioned, like nobody wants to hear that. But I think there's also like part of it where it was just like we didn't feel like confident enough about it. But we just approach songs a lot of different ways, and that's what we do, and it keeps us going and it keeps us challenged, and I think that's the important thing. I mean, honestly, I don't know how ACDC can keep rocking as hard as they do. I would think they would be very tempted to try other vibes, but
I
but
know, right? They'll
they're
probably
certainly great at
deport
what they
me. They'll probably
yeah.
deport me. Oh, I love old school AC/DC or Bond when it kind of had those bit more of the jazz and the soul influences in it as well. But like AC/DC found a
Wait,
style
are
and
you talking
stuck with
about
it.
early? You're talking
Yeah,
about Bond early
yeah,
AC/DC
Bond,
had
Bond. I
had
love.
different vibes.
Yeah,
See, I'm not
yeah.
that familiar. John Linnell actually saw AC/DC with Bon Scott. Uh, what is the? There's some record, like their second or third record. There's like a picture of them up against like a brick wall or something. That was actually taken the day that John Linnell saw them perform.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Yeah, I think
I'm
he's like
trying.
this, and he had his tat out and that, and I think it was the blue and white. I can't remember, blue and white striped shirt, maybe.
I'm looking. I'm fact checking myself here because I'm sure I can identify it. It was. Let's see. Okay, it's not. Well, it's not Highway to Hell. Um, what? Where is this album cover? It's They were playing at the Paradise in Boston. Um, uh,
Music collection. I've got
Okay.
it.
I know this is out there somewhere for people who are into this stuff, but anyway, next question. While I Google image
Yeah,
search.
but that what my point kind of was getting was like with They Might Be Giants. You kind of like when I listen to They Might Be Giants, it's always this. I know I feel like this curiosity in this you guys you're excited by ideas as well. You can go from straight ahead punk notes to some Count Basie if you want to, kind of you just
Well,
kind of
yeah, I
have
appreciate
that
that.
feel and vibe to it. When you look at this album now, The World Is to Die, what feels like the central spirit of this album to you?
Well, it's a collection of songs, and it's not really clear to me how it will all be taken in. Like, um, some albums are sort of edgier than others. Some albums seem like more joyful. Some albums come out feeling. I don't really know if the history is written yet. It's a really wide open set of songs. I mean, the opening track is the song "Back in Los Angeles" that has this very uh, the drums on it are almost like in free time. Like it's like our drummer is just kind of playing against the track. It's hard to even describe. Um, and I think, I mean, it's a an appropriate opening track because it's just so wide open. And there, there's some power pop songs on the record. There's some bangers on the record, but there's also a lot of just original stuff. And but how it all stacks up, I'm not really sure. I can
It's
I don't
it's
have a clear idea of what it's all about.
it's an absolutely fun album, John. I was
Oh,
listening
good.
to this right in the middle of I had Immolation and I had Clawfinger and I had They Might Be Giants, and it was such a fun listen for me in this as well. When it came on, I was literally bouncing around my lounge room like, dude, big smile on my face. I absolutely enjoyed it. As I mentioned, I had this real curiosity and enjoyment to it, and such a fun album. Like it really did, and the
That's
way
great.
you guys write the lyrics and the songwriting, it's almost like a storytelling to this as well, which just feels so nice and something you guys have always done so well. Kind of, I did mention it quite a few times, just looking at society and being able to put it in these fun songs as well.
Well, that's fantastic. That's very kind of you. I take it as a compliment.
I also really like the balance of you guys between the deeply, as I keep mentioning, the deeply musical side, the visual, and also the conceptual side. How visual is your brain when you're working on the album, whether it's the title, the artwork, the sequencing, or the whole identity of a record?
Well, we do, put a lot of time into figuring out how to do the album covers. Some of them come together faster than others. This one has a very cool cover. It's a painting. Um, it's actually it's not completely clear uh, who, what it is, who the actual painter was. I suspect it was Mary Park Benton, who was a Hudson. All the painters that are discussed are Hudson uh, River School painters, which was like a painting movement in the United States in the second half of the 19th century, and they're just really vivid, interesting, crazy landscapes, like these epic landscapes that it almost looks like a Yes cover, um, but it just seemed like an awesome image and an awesome way to kind of present the album. So it took a fair bit of research to get the right thing.
Yeah, it's an amazing piece of art, and I talk about this a lot. And I know you're a lover of music and vinyl as well, and the physical medium. It's like I think it's extremely important for society not to forget how important like having an actual good piece of real album art instead of something AI generated that kind of complements the whole package as well. And that is cat like eye catching. I'm a vinyl lover and
Yeah,
a lover of CDs and the physical medium. And it used to be a thing. You'd come home or you'd go to the CD shop, the record store, and you'd pick something out just for the artwork as well. Get home and it'd be all right there and good for us with our eyes these days.
yeah. It'll be creepy when AI fully takes over. I'm sure that's probably for a lot of people that's it couldn't come too soon, but I'm not into it personally.
Yeah, no, no, that's it. I love the physical format, and I hope it bloody goes nowhere as well. I've also got to ask about the evening with man. How that looks absolutely amazing. Expanded 8 piece, I think three horns or something. It's going
Oh
to be
yeah.
an amazing night. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we've been playing out with the eight-piece band for like a year and a half now. With
Yep.
the we Before that, we would have often be like a five-piece, or we would have a trumpet player join us. But with the horns, it's like a huge booster rocket for us because not only do we would always have tracks on albums with horn charts, and it was always a little sad doing songs live. Without the horns. So there's a whole bunch of horn driven songs that we immediately could pull into the show. Um and and those sound great. But now we're kind of also like writing songs, knowing that we're going to have the horns with us. And they can, they can do charts. They're great improvisers. We can do all sorts of different things with the horns, and we can also, and we've actually rearranged some old songs to be horn driven. And so there's a lot of different approaches to kind of fold them into the show.
Okay, mate. After more than 4 decades, what still gives you the biggest buzz now? Writing a song, making a record, playing on stage, or are you still just finding ways and that's kind of
I
surprised you?
really like it all. I love doing shows. Shows are a blast. Getting there sometimes is a little exhausting, but no, it's really fun. Just having the time on stage and just like it's it's hard to think of it as a job, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, mate. We will find that album cover for you all and we will put it there, John. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the
Oh, the
time to
pleasure is
chat,
all mine.
mate. The new Might Be Giants album is The World to Dig is out April 14th. That's the only thing you really need to get for people this Easter. John, last word, shout outs, thank yous are all on you, my friend.
Well, thank you, and to all the metalheads out there, keep rocking.
Damn straight. Cheers.